What up? What's going down?
Not much, you man.
I'm actually I made sure it's recording so we don't fuck it up again.
That last episode, bro, you're like 10 minutes into it. We're talking, shit's going. And they're just like, I don't see that recording. It's not lit
Bro,
up in the left hand corner of the screen. I'm like, we're going to have to ask the same
my,
fucking questions over.
my fucking heart just dropped. I was like, oh no, I was like, we are literally doing the best episode we've done so far, and it's not fucking recording right
Shit, dude. That's great.
now. But yeah, man. I had fantasy draft last night. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, dude. I freaking like the family league. It's like, dude, they don't know what they're doing. They're drafting quarterbacks in like the second and third round. So it's like, you're freaking like forced to like take someone at least like halfway decent. And that's why I like grabbed Dak at the I grabbed Dak in the fourth round, even though like one of the moms was like, she grabs Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. I'm like, what are you doing?
Back to back?
Back to back picks.
Oh, that's crazy.
My brother's like, what are you doing? She's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. I swear I've played in some fantasy leagues like that where obviously you have people that just are there to have fun and don't know what they're doing. And sometimes they're the ones that just like sweep the league. I've seen it before.
Because they put themselves on auto draft.
Yeah, they just They
don't care. We're doing the ad drops every week. We're paying attention to it. They leave their roster like untouched the entire season. They end up fucking winning.
Yeah.
Who'd you end up with?
So I didn't like connect to Wi-Fi when I was doing it. It said draft process might work better if you're connected to Wi-Fi, but I had good service, so I didn't. I swear, I don't know if it's the Yahoo app or what it is, but it kept like glitching during my like round. And I would see like, oh, I have like 10 seconds left when it would go from like you're up next to like 10 seconds left. And so I had people on queue, but like it was still really panicked.
You did it through ESPN though?
What's that?
ESPN or was it Yahoo?
No, Yahoo, yeah. Let's see. It's a keeper league, so this was the first year we had keepers, and I ended up keeping Lamar Jackson, so I got kicked out of a third round pick. And then I got Tank Dell off waivers last year and ended up keeping him. So it just my last pick, which was a pretty good setup. But Lamar Jackson, Drake London, George Pickens, Chris Olave, John Connors, Dave Montgomery, Jake Ferguson, Tank Dell. I went with Javonte Williams. I don't know. He's
a good flyer.
Yeah. Like I think he might have like some utility this year. Hollywood Brown. I know he might get suspended. In 2025?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. He still might have some utility. Jared Goff's my backup. Trey Benson, Gabe Davis, J.K. Dobbins, and I don't know. Jason Sanders is my kicker and Pittsburgh's defense. So it is what it is. It's not. I was 10th. I was 10th overall, so then I was like, third in the second round. Then I skipped the third round. So like my picks, like those first four rounds were everything got taken off the board that I wanted to get. Pretty much.
Yeah. Like because I think you were 10, I was 11 out of 12. But at least like it came back around and I got the 11th pick and then I got the 14th pick. So I'm like, bam. You know what
That's
I mean?
Not bad. Yeah. Did you go wide receiver running back for your first two?
100%.
Yeah.
I was like Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
I mean, like him in Philly, because Derrick Henry was already taken off the board. But like, I was gonna grab Derrick Henry in the third round, but he had gotten taken like by the time he came back to me.
Yeah, I honestly think that like you're better. I don't know. Like I'm a Tennessee guy, but I do think that a career that that Derrick Henry had, I think he's on the backside of his career. He's like 30, 31. Like, and I don't know how many 1,000-yard seasons he has. I don't know if the production is going to be as good this year. So I think the
It's
Saquon Barkley.
It's going to be this year because it's with Baltimore. I mean, like,
Yeah.
that was the only reason why I'm like Baltimore and Philly have a better offensive line than I think the Tennessee and Tennessee.
That's true. Yeah.
So I mean, I could see them both rushing for 1,000, but I think Saquon might do a little better than Derrick Henry.
I agree. I think Philly's gonna be pretty dangerous, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, like if they could just get their shit together. I mean, like, what did they start off the season last year? Like 8-1 or 9-1, and then they just like shit the bed, and they ended up finishing what, like 12-7 or something, 12-6.
And I've been fucking sick all week.
Yeah,
Dude,
you sound like you've been shit.
I never get sick. So like 3 weeks ago, I got sick, and I was sick for about a week. Probably was COVID, if we're being honest, but like it didn't hit me that.
You can talk about it.
Yeah. And then earlier this week, it's like 2 weeks good, and then I feel sick again. It's like in my throat, congested, in my chest, coughing up a bunch of stuff. Fucking sucks.
Did you get your blood work? Did you get your blood work back?
I get blood work done this week.
How'd that go?
I haven't had it done.
Oh, okay.
It'll happen this week. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm excited. Hopefully, it all looks good, or there's not that much,
I think you'll be fine. I mean, like, you've been cruising, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be fine. I mean, like, dude, it's been almost, 8 weeks? It'll be 8 weeks this week.
Yeah, like 8 weeks this week. Is that it? 8 weeks post-show?
Yeah.
Damn. Went fast.
I think we're both sitting at the same weight right now, too. What are you?
I weighed, last check-ins was on Friday, and I was 248, 248.4 or something like that.
You're heavier than me. I'm 240.
Oh, damn. Yeah, the lines are starting to get a little blurry. And
yep. Chris is like, we're gonna have to pull back. I'm like, pull back. Come on, man.
Yeah.
we definitely still have lines, but he told me, we want to keep this conditioning the entire offseason right here.
Yeah. I think if I could keep about what I look like now, I'd be super happy. I don't know. It's what was I just gonna say? Oh, I think it's about time that I start taking my check-ins without my trunks on and go back to the briefs. Because seeing my lower back and my glutes poke out around my trunks is just like
you're like, nah, shit, this ain't working.
Like, let's cover that up with the briefs.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Dude, no joke, it goes straight to my glutes too.
Dude, I don't
know what it is, but like Charlotte's like, I like did him in the trunks, and Charlotte's like, Jesus Christ, dude! Like, she's like, your glutes are absolutely enormous, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
It's the first thing that comes back for me, dude. The next day after show, even if I eat good, it's like the crispness. They're just gone. They're gone after the show. Like that's it. One meal and they're slapping from the water already. Yeah, it's terrible. Did you watch North Americans at all?
Yeah, I watched. I mean, like, I've been watching some of it. I mean, like, that was supposedly, from what I saw, it was just super competitive.
It looked good.
Like, even in the Masters, the Masters and the Open, it was both like, it was pretty well stacked.
I actually ordered the live stream while I was at work on Thursday and kind of watched it while it unfolded. I at least watched prejudging. I didn't end up watching finals, but I watched prejudging. Yeah, man. Lightweights, heavies, super heavies were all pretty damn good.
Yeah.
At least
the kid that won the overall, he was in the heavies, right?
Yeah, he was. I think he was heavy. Yeah.
Oh shit.
What up?
What's going on, brothers? My apologies for my delay, but let me tell you, this weekend I just had, oh my God, it's a ridiculous weekend I just had, but it's good to see you guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm missing, what y'all talking about?
Talking about North Americans.
Just talk a little about North Americans. You were there, man. You could probably tell us more.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, it's always interesting. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. This one.
There it
Hey,
is.
Sweet. It's always interesting when you see, like, you typically will see one person and you be like, damn. When I saw the guy that won the overall, I knew it
Yeah.
from the morning. Like he didn't even have to pose. When you seen him, you just was like, yep. Everybody else coming for second place, whoever's in his division. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't know what is in the Nigerian DNA, but oh my God.
yeah,
Like,
he was
dude,
in the heavyweights, right?
hmm
Yeah, he looks filthy.
and the thing
He's gonna
is
jump
like,
right into the pro league and compete.
yes, he will. And the thing is that I know for a fact he didn't really come with a 100% package, right? So you can get away with certain things at the amateur level. He looked so good that he didn't have to have that extreme conditioning, the striated glutes. You know what I'm saying? He didn't need to be super sharp because his muscle bellies were so. I mean, you look at that, bro. I mean, even his posing, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
He
you
looks
look
on the
at
shorter.
him.
Was he shorter, Doug?
Yeah, he wasn't that tall.
Yeah, he's gonna
He
be in the
wasn't that
212s.
tall. Yeah, I mean, it depends. He can, right now, like he just turned pro. Can he do a couple of 212 shows and do some damage? Yes. But I don't know how much he weighed because he would have to lose a little bit
Yeah,
more weight. But even still, that would improve his conditioning. You know, I mean, it was good to see a good amount of numbers of bodybuilders. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the old numbers of 30, 40 a class isn't there yet again. But it was, yeah. Look at that. I mean, you see.
Crazy.
I mean, and that's the thing, right? Like he's so full, and you can tell his conditioning can be a little bit better.
Yeah.
I
His
agree.
posing can be a little bit better, but he just looked so good. What you gonna say? Like when he stood next to the other guys, he was the clear cut. Just walk everybody off, man. I
That
mean, and
front, look at that front lat spread.
yeah,
That's silly.
no gaps, no gaps.
He
And if he tilts a little bit forward, you really see his upper deck, right? He's kind of got like a slight lean back.
Yeah,
So, you can't really see the depth in his upper deck, but oh my God, bro. Like I'm such a fan of the sport. I'm always amazed when I see physiques like that, bro. It's just insane, man.
I was gonna say he did do USA's a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, much
I'm out.
much
That is
fuller
okay.
look.
Look at
Wait a minute. On the left is USA's, and then
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a couple weeks.
yeah.
that's in a
And
couple
he's
weeks, I believe.
much fuller,
Shit.
much fuller. Yeah. I mean,
Who's
much
coaching?
fuller and better conditioning than he had at the USA. So he made all the right adjustments.
Yeah. It's a really good example of what flat actually looks like versus full.
Yep. Because
That's
you
a
can
Because
see
it
the
night.
doesn't
pop.
That doesn't even look like the same person.
Exactly.
no.
Because you can see the pop in his muscles, the separation. Yeah,
Look at
look at
that.
that. Yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah. Look at his adductor. He has
yep.
no adductors on the left, and then all of a
Yep.
sudden, the thickest
Oh,
adductors you've ever probably seen.
yeah. And you see better depth in his back
It actually
at,
looks like
at
he
North
tweaked his
Americans.
posing too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's definitely popping the glutes out for the to get rid of that thigh gap.
Mm-hmm.
And he can get away with it with those like Ronnie Coleman style glutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some
Because
guys can't get away with it, but
yeah.
he definitely can.
Yeah, because it's like sometimes you hear the judges say they want to see striated glutes, but then you see people who win without striated glutes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, but because his development, I mean, you could see glute from the rear, you could see glute, hamstring, adductors, quad. I
Yeah,
mean, that's bodybuilding.
yeah, with guys like we lost him.
Oh,
He'll dial back. There he is.
There
I
we
mean,
go.
like with guys like him, I feel like he's gonna win. You know what I mean? And that's clear cut, like you were saying, Doug. I mean, like I think I had this discussion with a couple of buddies of mine, and it's like I feel like the consistency on a national judging level is not consistent at all right now.
No, it's not. It's not.
Because
Each
like
judge
one
has
show
different things that they like.
that's what I'm saying, dude. Like each judging panel is way different than the next one. And I mean, like, granted that this is obviously a drastic change of what we're looking at from USA's to North Americans. And like you said, like when he walked out, you knew he was a clear-cut winner. But it's like every other class, I'm saying, man, I'm like, there's no consistency of what they're looking for in general.
Yeah. Because it seems like it varies from individual to individual. You know what I'm saying? So I totally agree with you on that. You know, I'm always amazed to see too the bodybuilders that crown themselves before they get to a national show without realizing what they're up against. And then we get these long paragraphs and we get like, excuses as opposed to just acknowledging I'm not there yet. I'm not at this level yet. I'm going to continue to do what's necessary to make the improvements to come back better. You know what I'm saying? Not an excuse. Like I love when I just don't see excuses. You know what I'm saying? And there's no knock on nobody's process and things like that because sometimes coaches can do things to help dictate your outcome. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's like that guy. If I was in that show and he won, when I did my first national, I remember when people took their clothes off, I was like, oh yeah, this is a national. Everybody looked good. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you see certain people like that, you just gotta just tip your hat off to him. He is ready. He is more developed. And just because I'm not doesn't mean that I can't get there. But a lot of times people be guaranteeing victories and apologizing to people. And it's like, bro, that's because you don't really understand bodybuilding, bro. There's levels to this shit. Exactly. There's levels to this shit. Just show up, do the best you can. If you win, great. If not, if you don't crown yourself, you don't gotta feel like you gotta explain to people why you didn't win. Because people who know bodybuilding don't need an explanation, right? It's good. Keep pushing. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, this day and age, even like amateur pros, like they feel like they owe people an apology, and it's like, dude, I I get it from like the social media aspect, but I'm like, you shouldn't be apologizing to anybody. I mean, like if you showed up your best and you improved from the last show, that's the only thing that freaking matters.
Yeah.
Facts.
This guy, Dominic Uza, the super
Was he
heavy.
the super? Yeah.
He was the super.
I remember him.
Man.
Is he a super or is he a
Yeah, he was a super.
He was
I
a
remember
super.
him.
But when I was watching prejudging when he came out, in my mind, at that point in time, I thought he might have been the overall winner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was so hard from the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I seen him too, I felt the same way. You know what I'm saying? Because but it's like you said, when you see them put them guys together, that's when you can start. Okay, yeah, he's got this little bit better than that guy. Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah. It was impressive. The middleweight was very good too. He ended up winning the pro card.
Yeah, because at North Americans, it's top 4 get your pro card, not just winning your class. Funny story. I remember when I did North Americans, and after I won my class in the open, Gary saw me smiling. He said, "What you smiling for?" He said, "You ain't win your pro card yet. You got to place in the top 4." I was like, "Oh shit, I ain't know," because I did not know North Americans was structured differently than the other national shows. You know what I'm saying? And I remember when me, Marty, and Nick was walking to the stage. Marty, he's a nut. He goes, "I know I'm getting my pro card. I ain't losing to no fucking middleweight." I said, "Man, you're a shout out, bro. He's a nut." You know what I'm saying? But that's the North Americans. That's one thing that makes it different. You can win your class and not get your pro card. It happens every year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the middleweight.
That's the middleweight.
Yeah.
I mean, he was.
He does.
I mean, when middleweights came out, it was no question. He was so much better than everybody else.
Yeah, legs, upper body.
Yeah.
His front lat spread looks really good.
Yeah, you definitely notice it, like from the start.
Yeah.
And then this is the light heavy.
The light heavy. Yeah, he
Justin
looked
Kelly.
good. He looked good. The light heavies and the heavies are always tough. Those two tough classes, man. I always tell people, man, like them two divisions, like the super heavyweight, because there don't always be a lot of guys that want to be that big. You know what I'm saying? When you weighing over 225, that's
Oh no. I think we got. Let me see if I can find his profile. Let's see.
from the super heavy. I mean the
From
middleweight.
Masters 35.
Masters. Yeah, there was definitely some good looking masters. Yeah, definitely.
He
Have a great day. You as well. Thank you.
he's one of Andrew Barry's guys. I can't remember his Instagram tag right now.
One of them's Kyle, and then the other one's Dupont.
Yeah, one of the
Tom
guys was a 5%er. I can't remember. He's Tom
Dupont.
Go to bodybuildingborders.com. It should be on there.
Yeah, Dupont is the unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all say that now, but if it was your name,
So he's a New England guy, isn't he?
I have another.
Yeah, he lives in Vermont.
Yeah. So he got his pro card as well. Shout out to him.
Mm-hmm.
Never
He looked very good.
Yep, there you go, right there on the left.
Pictures.
Oh yeah, I remember him in the gym. Solid.
It's terrible.
He looked good.
He just won the Vermont show.
Yeah, yep. Shout outs to him. It's fantastic. Oh.
Backstage for her.
Yeah,
There we go.
so Dupont, I think he won the 35 super heavyweight in the overall, and then I think he won the. I can't remember what happened in the 40s, but I know he was top 5 in the world.
If I have a boy, it's gonna be Deuce.
Let's see. Another thing that was going around this last week that we got to talk about.
Dude,
let's talk about how crazy these pictures look.
How do you actually
Yeah.
bro, like some of the podcasts are like giving them crap because they're like, oh, this isn't good lighting, and I'm like, dude, this is just nasty in general. No matter what lighting you put this in.
This is a new hunter. This is different.
If I have a daughter, her name would be McKenna.
I mean, if you ask me, his only, I think the only thing that was really holding him back was just like back development in general. He's always had legs. He's always looked real. Not to say that he never looked good from the rear, but he always, to me, in my opinion, there was always a clear difference from his front to his back. And it seems like his back is just catching up, and he's going to be really hard to beat once. Look at that. That shit looks crazy.
He's top 6.
That shit looks crazy. Yeah, because look at his waist. His waist isn't blown out, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, his back looks crazy, and his waist is...
He could challenge the top 4 position if he keeps his conditioning.
Yeah. Do you think Nexzilla gives him any problems in Italy?
No, because I think he just still needs more time. Yeah, he doesn't have the good separation either. You know what I'm saying? Like, his quads are massive, but there's no separation really. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But I think that he's definitely going to be in the top 5. You know, for views and attention's sake, you know he's going to be in there because he's a freak. Like, people just want to see him. You know what I mean? But when it comes to development and conditioning, Hunter's going to wipe the floor with him with that.
Yeah,
It's almost getting to that time where we probably could start making some predictions over the next couple of weeks of who we think the top 6 will be. Top 5.
That's just crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's only not much time till the Olympia.
Mm-hmm.
This year feels like it went really fast.
Yeah, I mean, October's next month.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Insane.
October is next month. You know, and
it's creeping up. What, 6
Yes,
weeks?
it
Is it 6
is.
weeks?
Yes, it is.
6
I think it is 6 weeks. I think it is. I'm excited to see everybody, in particular for me, because I'm vested as a Nick Walker fan, because I was a Nick Walker fan before I turned pro, and I turned pro with the guy. So I want to, because he didn't do it last year because of that hamstring. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what he looks like this year and if he's going to be able to get back in the top 5. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the improvements he's made with his midsection. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I got to say, Doug, like, last year, I think he might be dealing with a little too much this year for to win it. But I think he's definitely going to be in the top 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I thought his best shot at winning it was last year because, like, the way you looked at, like, photos after and what he looked like.
Yeah.
Like, even with that hamstring injury of him going into it, I'm like, man, this was his opportunity to win it right here.
Yeah. And to be honest, once Derek won it, he's going to be
tough to beat.
He's just going to be hard to beat, bro. I mean, and the crazy part is I just let him, because he doesn't talk about it, and I know. Not everybody knows how much he weighed when he won it, and we love the mass monsters, but it is no longer true that you have to weigh 250 and up to be a Mr. Olympia.
Nope.
You don't have to weigh that much. It's about
what you look like. It's not. It's how you carry it.
Because he won that Mr. Olympia at 233 pounds, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, now, Samson's gonna look like a freaking madhouse, like, because he's just
he already looks that way right now. So
he's just a massive guy. You know what I'm saying?
The one thing I can say about this is that, like, you're going into this Olympia and no one's a lock.
Yeah, no one's a lock.
Like, I guarantee, like, Hadi looks great, but everyone's talking about, like, is he on the backside of it? And then this is Derek's more opportunity to go back to back. And then, like, look at Samson. This is the best conditioning he's had ever 6 weeks out from a show. So it's like, and then you got guys like Nick Walker, Hunter Labrada, Andrew Jack that are all thrown into the mix.
Yeah, this is crazy when you think about it. It's like,
bro, 1 through 6, 1 through 7, any one of them can win if some of these guys come off.
Yeah.
If you're not spot on and you're 1% off, that's where these guys are going to jump from like 6th to 3rd.
That's what makes being a professional dope, because everybody up there got the genetics and the work ethic. It's all going to come down to Friday night, Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? Having that look Friday and then coming in better Saturday. You know what I'm saying? And for a lot of people, that's tough. That's tough to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you got to be able to keep your emotions in check. I mean, and I feel like to be the next Mr. Olympia, you have to noticeably be way fucking better than Derek. Like, noticeably.
Yeah. The way his back looks right now, he looks like one of the best backs I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you know, I'm always you ever people say it to me, and I'm sure people say it to you, because people always like, I didn't know you could make those extra improvements like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, each year, like, how are you able to yearly? I didn't like, you know, like, you look at somebody like, man, you can't get no better than that. The next year, you be like, God damn, the fuck you do that? Like, I didn't think
you look at last year's picture and you're like, man, I look like shit.
Yeah, like, I didn't think you could improve on that look, and then you do.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Do you guys like the idea of the Olympia being a 2-day show? Like, let's put for the fans aside. Do you like the setup of a 2-day show for an athlete?
I'm going to let Doug take this one first.
Yeah.
That's a hard question, because it's a yes and a no. Because I do like the anticipation, but I don't at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it adds an extra element when you get to that level, right?
Sure.
Because I do know that from being in bodybuilding to this point, they do like to reward people who can have that discipline longer. That's what it just seems like, right? like being able to be on stage and not fade when you're posing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Having that discipline to not only look good day one, but can you look better the next day? Can you come back harder? Can you come back, looking better than you did before? I think that adds an extra element. But at the same time, I would like for it to just be one day, like all the other shows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's some national shows that do 2 days, and it's just like the Olympia 2 days, and it's just like, for like some of the judges who haven't competed even at that level, like, do you know what that is? Do you know what that's like? Do you know what you're dealing with and how hard it is to keep that look for more than like 24 hours? You're talking like closer to 30 hours. You need to be able to keep like a peak performance, and it's that is not friggin' easy to do. You have to have a very good coach on your hands, and you have to have a body that, adapts to anything and everything that's going to be thrown at it inside those 30 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a higher risk, right? Like when you throw diuretics into play and everything. A lot of guys have already been on diuretics for 1, 2, 3. I mean, some more than that. Mm-hmm. And now you add another day of peak, refill, rehydrate, and then pull everything in. That's a lot. That's a lot on a body.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and unfortunately, you remember a few years ago we lost George DeBoer the day before the Olympia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is like, like what we do isn't easy, and it's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? There's a fine line with everything that we do, man. And having the Olympia 2 days can be difficult.
Yeah, for sure. For the fans, it's awesome, but sometimes I wonder if it's like ideal for the athletes.
I don't think it's ideal for the athletes. I think it's ideal. They're doing it from a selling point of view, and I don't think that's the right reason.
Money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so at North Americans, do you guys know how many bikini competitors there were?
Oh my God.
Oh, probably like 600.
Well, there was 300 and I think it was 330, and then there was 200 wellness ladies.
Crazy.
That's why they had their own day.
They have to.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you can judge that many people.
Yeah. North Americans are long shows. I remember in 2019 when I did it, heavyweights were supposed to be on at like 11:30. They slot us for 11:30. And because it is a master show as well, and I just don't think they really knew how the timing was going to work out, we didn't get on stage till about 3:30. That was a 4-hour gap of just sitting back there cold.
There was a lot of people complaining about that too, especially the first day, because the men's physique guys, the open, didn't get on stage till after 3:00.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy, and
they have to stay a lot tighter.
Yeah, because you figure you get up at 5, 6 in the morning to get your second coat of tan, and you're up all day. And most people's coaches have them ready to peak at, like, if you're going on 11:30, like all your meals, all your water, that's revolving around 11:30. Yeah, that's not revolving around 4 hours later. Hell no.
Yes.
Hell no.
That's a tough one.
I gotta say, up until like finals, they were good at Universe with us.
Yeah.
That's good.
Really
I know that's the hard part. But see, that's why I kind of don't. I wish they had a different structure for national shows. I get it's a money grab. I mean, because if you add up just the women's bikini and wellness day, how much money is being made, because then you think, and that's just if you lowball it and have, say, people are doing just one class in one division. You got people doing 2 classes, multiple divisions. You got, like me, I was a master's guy, so I did the 35 and I did the open. You know what I'm saying?
$600 right there.
Facts. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when you got that amount of money coming in, I understand why they, like it, but it kind of they should, in my opinion, they should cap them.
Yeah.
Because you do get a lot of people.
This goes back to like when I was talking a couple of weeks ago. Like, I don't think second place finishers in an open class or a master's class should be freaking getting national qualifications. You're still getting enough people at these national shows.
Yeah, exactly. Because
it should just be the class winner. Then you're going up against the best. And I get that it's a money grab, but it's like you're also like screwing up coaches like peak times and everything like that.
Any coach who allows their competitor to do a national after placing second at a fucking regional does not need to be a fucking coach, dog. I'm sorry.
I agree
because if you can't win here, what makes you think you go to a national to win your pro card? Now, there are some people that are close and all right, you want to see how you're going to do? We've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. We're not maybe we're not winning overalls, but we're winning your class consistently. Okay, we could go see. But taking second and then saying, "Oh, I want to go do a national," and then you as a coach being like, "Okay, no,
not even a chance." Even as like I would. Well, here's the thing too. Like you have some regional shows that they're the only person in that class, and they end up getting their qualification in a first place finish because they're the only one. So it's like. Then you have that conversation with them. They're like, "Oh yeah, let's do nationals." I won my class. I'm like, "Yeah, you won your class because you were the only in your class." Or there was only 3 of you in it, and the other 2 people looked like absolute dog shit. So it's like you're not being compared straight up like to what is on that national level and circuit.
That's why we all know. That's why I be cracking up, bro. I be seeing the trophy chasers every year. I'm gonna win. This is my year. I'm gonna win my pro card. And I'm like, you're not even competing against nobody where you live. Like you're not. You're beating everybody where you're going. Yeah, but you're not beating anybody. And then when they get to the national, it's the judges don't like me. The judges don't even know you, bro. They don't even know you, cuz like.
Yeah, they're the same people that they say, going for the pro card this year, and they have all their wins in their profile. They got second place 2 times over.
Yep. 10-time national qualifier.
Second place in wellness. I'm an NQ wellness competitor. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
Damn near everybody's national qualified. Right? Damn near. If you compete, you almost are national qualified. Like it is what it is. Yeah. We all know a couple of them.
Yeah.
True story.
The funniest too, man, because like this one dude, I ain't gonna say no names, but if I was able to speak to this person, I would have made this suggestion a few years ago because some people are just delusional. They don't understand the sport. And when they lose, they blame outside factors instead of just looking at themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've been a light heavy for 4 years and you're not even growing to the top end of your light heavy cap, maybe you should drop down the middleweight.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe
you should drop down the middleweight. 4 years in the same category, you should definitely.
I feel like I know who you might be talking about.
Oh, you know who I'm talking about. And my personal opinion is you should probably just hang it up at this point because you're not even growing. Like you're running gear and you're not growing, bro. Like just give it up. Like because I'm being honest. I'm not throwing shots because there's a lot of people out here like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You're wasting your time. You're wasting your money. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to see it, but I mean, at the end of the day, people need somebody in their corner that's going to shoot them straight and tell them and just be honest with them. Like, it's okay, bro. You're not there yet. You understand what I'm saying? But this is what we can do to get you there.
That's right.
I think it's if we have clients like the 3 of us, especially the 3 of us, like, it's our jobs to be like 100% transparent and honest with them at all points and times. Like as much as it's like Charlotte's looked at me sometimes and been like, damn, you're really hard on him or her. And I'm like, you need realistic expectations. You know what I mean? Like
it's not hand holding.
And it's it even falls back on like all of us. We all look at it and we're like, we need more, even if we do well in a show, like even if you win your pro card or get Olympia qualified, there's always areas of where we can improve on any level. So, like, if you have an unrealistic client that's like, "Oh, I'm at the top of my game," and you've never even done a show, you're like, God,
like you can't call yourself a top amateur and you're not placing in the top 5 in national competitions. Like you're not.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of people out here, and because a lot of people don't know bodybuilding, they just believe a lot of the shit that they hear. You know what I'm saying? And they got yes men in their corner, people that tell them what they
look
want to hear
good,
as opposed to what
good.
they should. Yes, exactly.
No.
You know, and it's, you know, that has created you know, a bad culture in bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, you know, people are going to say things and they're going to be wrong. Don't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? Because
They
I
use it as
can't
motivation.
remember. Yeah, right. Because I remember when I turned pro, I can't remember the guy's name right off now top of my head, but we're super cool now. And I remember him and my coach got into it right before I did North Americans because he was telling my coach he's too small, he's not going to win. But Morgan never told him how much I weighed, right? Like never told him how much I weighed. When I won my pro card, he literally after walked up to me and shook my hand and said I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know you was that big in person. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool to get that. And I told him I didn't take it personal. Like everybody's entitled to their opinion. I knew it wasn't coming from a malicious place. You don't even know me. You're giving your opinion on bodybuilding, and that's fine. And sometimes you give your opinion and people get butthurt. And it's like, don't get butthurt. I actually know what I'm talking about. And if I'm wrong, I can admit it. I can apologize. And I'm not embarrassed by it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a know-it-all. And I don't think I know it all. You know what I'm saying? But there are some things I think I'm very informed on, and there are things that I do understand when it comes to bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? And I like to give my opinions and my thoughts on things, but that doesn't mean that I'm always going to be right. And if I'm wrong about somebody, I'll admit it. You know, but I'm also going to be real. You was just the best person out. You was just the one person that looked better than everybody today. But if we go do a national, you're going to get dog walked because we still need to fix this. We need to correct this, you know, and somebody has to be able to listen to that and not take it personal. Like, oh, you don't think I'm ready? And it's not about thinking that you're not ready. Cause do you want to go and do it? Or do you want to go and win? What's your mind state? Because I remember telling my coach, I don't want to do a national until I'm ready.
Hey, Mike, doesn't this sound Mike, this sounds really familiar to a conversation we had a couple of weeks ago, didn't it?
Because I was very familiar with the sport. You know what I'm saying? Like very familiar with the sport. And also too, with me having a wife and kids, responsibilities, like you said, $600 for a national. And look, I didn't even have to do the open when I won because I won it as a master's. But you know why I did the open? Because I paid for that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I ended up winning the open too. But I didn't even have to fucking do it. But I paid for it. So I'm like, I'm going to do it. And I didn't know I was going to win, but I won. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. And I think that's what a lot of people need to get back to. You know what I'm saying? Placing top 5, oh, we're golden now. Second call out, oh, we're not coming back.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? Like you do you want to spend so much money as an amateur or just anybody in general? Like there's no worse feeling than standing to the side as first call outs get called. Been there. That's the worst. That is a terrible feeling to put in all that work for so long. Inside your mind, know your potential or where you want to get, but still be at that point where 5-6 guys get called out before you. Like there's something to be said for experience, and everybody should go through that once possibly. But man, how many times do you want to go through that, especially at the national level, right?
Yeah, like you don't want to make a habit of it.
I'll tell you one thing right now, and I said it to Mike a couple of weeks ago, and I called him like just to shoot the shit and bounce a couple ideas off him. And I'll tell you right now, what he just said, couldn't agree anymore because I'm in that boat right now. You think I want to go back there and get my ass handed to me again?
Yeah.
Fuck no, dude. I want to go back there and I want to win. And I'm not coming back until I'm going to win.
You never want to feel that feeling again of.
And that was what I said. That was my exact words to you. I don't want to go back there and have that same feeling that I had when I just got kicked in the freaking nuts, 8 weeks ago.
Let me tell you, because I was delusional in my first Olympia. I thought I was going to crack top 10. And let me tell you something. When I sat in that back, that was the first time in any bodybuilding competition I've never made a first call out, which is crazy, right? First time I didn't make a call out was in the Olympia. But I was in the last call out. And let me tell you how humbling that was. And I wasn't even mad. You know what I said to myself? I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed that.
Yep.
I needed that humble pie. I'm gonna eat it. And I'm glad that it happened to me, right? Because let's say hypothetically speaking, if I had placed in that top 10, I think I would have got ahead of myself. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes success too fast isn't always good. It could be a handicap for a lot of people because then when they start to lose, they can't handle it. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't understand adversity. You know what I'm saying? Adversity, my middle name. I've been going through that shit my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So when I got that, it was a sting from the aspect of, all right, there's a whole nother level you got to get to, Doug, and you got to be patient. And you just got to do the work until you get there and put your blinders on. You know what I'm saying? Where some people that happens to, and they tank, they quit, or this ain't for me. And it's like, and I'm no knock on nobody else's process. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, you now are like, I ain't coming back until I win. You don't have a defeated mindset. Your mindset is when I get back on this stage, everybody's lunch.
I feel like
Bro,
that.
I'm not gonna lie. I felt defeated maybe for like an hour.
Oh yes, of course.
I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm like, next time I come back on the stage, I'm coming correct. Like, don't get me wrong. Not that I wasn't correct because I had put on eight pounds in a year, which was like because I was transitioning from freaking classic to open bodybuilding. But I mean, like, I needed it. I needed to get on that stage to see where I stood, to understand where I need to go. And I'm like, done.
Do you guys feel like that mindset transitions from like playing sports growing up?
Most
like
definitely.
I feel like
100%.
I feel like really successful bodybuilders, not all, like there's always some, but like really successful ones, man, they all have sports backgrounds. And I feel like that mentality of like, fuck losing, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win.
Yep.
Versus the kid that, you know, might have been bullied or, you know, grew up playing only video games and not sports. That mindset of like that killer instinct mindset's a little different.
It is. And it's for a lot of people, it's foreign.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know how to not take things personal. Like, I swear to God, and it was so funny being able to talk to goddamn, who did I beat? My Eric Wood, right? Eric Wood. I remember telling myself, because the competitor in me, right? I remember telling myself, if I make first call out, when they start calling poses, I'm bumping whoever's next to me on purpose to try to throw them off. And I didn't care who I was next to. I play the mind games too. You know what I'm saying? Because I had it done to me, and I was fucking pissed. And I was like, you can't be like that, Doug. You gotta stay, you can't flinch. And I got a video of me hitting that rear double with Eric Wood, and I bumped him, and he looked at me. When he looked at me, I was like, I got him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that came from me just being a competitor. Because I was the same way on the football field. I was talking shit. And then at the end of the game, I would always say, nothing personal, good game, whatever your number was.
That's exactly how it was in basketball. Same thing, you know. I was a pit bull on the court. Like I like to talk. I like to be physical. I like to get in players' heads. And bodybuilding doesn't let me do that as much, but it's that same mentality. It's that same dog mentality that I take to the gym. I fucking bring that to my meals, as crazy as that sounds. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck this. Let me get this meal down because once I get this meal down, can't nobody stop me. Like it's the same thing. But I find it hard. Like I find it hard. Like when I get clients that don't come from sports backgrounds, sometimes I really find it hard to relate to those clients. And I've even found myself over the last couple months not taking on as many clients that don't jive with my mindset. Because at this point, honestly, like we're both wasting our time, right?
Yep.
I'm not gonna coddle a client. I'm
Nope.
not gonna pat you on the back if we haven't won anything yet. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just who I am and
Mm-hmm.
how I like to be coached.
Mm-hmm.
So if my clients can't bring that to the table,
Yeah.
then
You're not
we're not
everybody's cup of
we're
tea.
not the right fit. Yeah.
That's right. You ain't gonna be everybody's cup of tea. And I tell people that same thing too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the cool part about bodybuilding is that more people that have your same mindset will start to gravitate towards you because
Yeah.
now you're creating that space where you're letting people know, like, hey, because this sport is so mentally difficult, you have to have a certain mindset, right? Like, I remember telling this one lady she has to do fasted cardio. She's like, well, I can't do fasted cardio. I have work in the morning. So I'm like, well, what time you got to be at
Yeah.
work in the morning? She's like, I start work at 9. So I'm like, so you can't do fasted cardio before 9 o'clock in the morning? She's like, oh no, that's too early. I said, well, I'm telling you what you need to do and how you can do it, and you don't want to do it, so we're not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. She couldn't understand. I'm like, ma'am, gym's open at 5 in the morning. You got enough time to go to the gym, do your cardio, come home, take a shower, take a nap, eat, and then go to work.
100%. 100%.
And people who want it, that's what they're going to fucking do.
Yeah.
Especially me when I drove for Port Authority, bro. I had to be at work at 5:30, not wake up. I had to be at work at 5:30.
Yeah.
So I had to do my cardio at 3:30 in the morning.
For sure. You know, I think on the come up, we've all worked jobs like that, right? When I was doing like physical labor jobs, I was doing like a basement, I do custom countertops, like fasted cardio. If I have to be at work at 5, then fasted cardio gets done at 3 in the morning. It's just what it is. It is what it is. You know, like
I got to go to bed earlier.
yeah, and I think that comes back to like the mindset of like a lot of people who are bodybuilding these days, that it looks glorious, like it looks like this fun, like man, I want to have those Instagram likes, I want to have that. But like the people who do have that, like, man, it's been 10 years of like fuck everything else to a degree, like, you know.
My personal opinion is like, you got to do, if you're doing this sport, you got to do it because you love it. You can't be doing it for the instant gratification. There's a ton of shit that, like, I see it firsthand, even in the gym that I work out in. Like, people half-assing a workout. They'll come in, they'll do 2 sets, 5 minutes of cardio, take a picture in a mirror, post it up on IG, and the coach, who is nowhere anywhere near here, will look at it and be like, oh, they're getting their job done. Well, they're getting their job done because they just went to the gym and posted a picture and tagged you in it. But are they really, truly doing the work? Are they getting it done? Well, guess what? Your ass is going to be exposed once you hit the stage, because you're not going to be where you want to be.
100%. And you know, it's kind of insulting. Like, I got this guy that goes to my gym. Cool dude. I like him. I respect him. We're friends. But he's competed a couple times and he has a good physique. Like, he's done classic. He gets really hard. He has a pretty good structure. But I do think there's some like disconnect there with reality of what it takes and what he has to do. You know, he's one of those guys. He talks about the drug aspect a lot, which is part of it. But he always, whenever we have conversations, you know, he'll say something like, yeah, like that's awesome. Like, you got your pro card, or you do. He's like, and then he always follows it up with just give me a little time to catch up. And it's one of those things that, like,
bro, you better keep thinking harder than that. You're a classic too.
This isn't like a cocky thing on my end, but
I know what you mean.
Like, motherfucker, I've been doing this for 11 years consistently, not missing a day, hitting what I need to hit. Just like the audacity to say, give me a couple of years and I'll catch up to you.
Yeah, because people really think that.
And you've been doing this for a year. And on top of that, I know you don't get your meals in. I know you're not consistent in the gym. And no fault of your own, but you might not be in a financial spot that bodybuilding's for you right now. Like, all these aspects, like, why would you say that to someone?
Like, because those are the shit talkers and not the pipples.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, like, and I don't ever want to discourage somebody from doing it because, man, if you can become a pro in 2 years, congratulations to you.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep it real with you. When I did, I told him, like, I kind of got sick of hearing that type of shit. I was like, I laid it out, all the things, like, this is why you're not gonna catch me. This is
Mm-hmm.
why, like, you won't come close to catching me. And this is why you can't turn pro until you get these aspects of your life into a place that's conducive for bodybuilding. And sometimes you got to be real with people like that. It's not
Yep.
hate, it's
Nope.
being real.
And I'm so glad you say that. And that's unfortunately why certain people have a gripe with me when it was never personal, when I give my thoughts and opinions on things, but people take shit. Oh, you just saying that because you don't like me. I don't even know you that like you or not like you. I don't
Yeah.
even know you like that.
Yeah.
So
I think there's one thing about the three of us that I've known, getting to know all you guys, it's 100%. We spit fire and spit the truth at all points in times, whether or not you want to hear that shit or not. It is what
Yeah.
it is.
It's needed.
most
Speaking
definitely.
of drug talk, I did have a couple questions that people asked. One thing they said is we haven't talked about PEDs on here, at least somewhat in depth.
Well, I mean, what do
I know
people
Doug,
want to like? I mean, because so let me just say this before you get on this. One of the reasons why I don't like to talk about it is because
yeah,
I feel like I have a responsibility and a duty to the people who aren't knowledgeable and do things because they see things.
agreed.
You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
Four things
And
we're
that
told
to
that
me
they need
is
to
the
remember
most
that
important
what
thing.
we say is
Yeah.
based upon our personal experience and
Yes.
what works best for our bodies, not
Yes.
what they should be using because we're using the exact same amounts.
Yes. And
Yeah.
this was a personal decision I made with my wife,
Mhm.
everybody in my family. I don't hide anything. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So there isn't anything that nobody don't know. But I
Yeah.
feel like I have an obligation and a duty to not put information out there that can harm somebody.
Agreed.
But I'm
Agreed.
realistic and I'll answer questions. But because sometimes people want to ask questions, and it's like, bro, I can't tell you what I do so that you can try it and hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Right, because it might not work for them.
I think when it comes to talking about PEDs, it's like you have to be careful, right? Because everybody wants to take your sound bite of, oh, I run 750 tests and like whatever, and just run with that, right? Like, and the big thing about it is all the other aspects are solid.
Yeah.
The meals are solid, the training like everything else is perfect.
Yeah,
Not the
training, sleep,
if
diet.
you don't even have those in line, like you shouldn't even
Don't
be
bother.
talking.
Yes.
Facts.
And most don't have those, right? Everybody wants to talk about PEDs because it's like the secret formula,
Yeah.
the thing that makes you big.
Yeah, because people don't realize even with it, you still have to put in the work. Like
God,
you
so
still gotta put in the work. You still gotta eat the food. You still gotta train insane. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing changes. Right? I always tell people the only difference between somebody who's enhanced and who isn't is we can grow muscle faster.
that's it. That's it.
And we can grow
Like,
muscle faster. That's it, man. There's nothing else to it, bro. Like, but you only grow muscle faster if you're doing all the things you said.
exactly.
Like
Because
literally, that's why you got people that be running gear for 4 years and they're still a light
they
heavyweight.
look exactly the same.
How
Exactly.
are you not growing, bro?
Yeah.
Because 15% of like what you're putting into this is probably gear. That's it.
Yeah.
The rest is sleep, diet, and training. Because
That's
if
it.
you're not nailing those three things down, you're not going to put on any quality lean muscle tissue at all.
Yep.
And there's fat people too who run gear and don't even look like they running gear.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I know so many people that run as much as me, if not more, that look like this is their
Dog
first
shit.
6 months in the gym. It's
With
crazy.
that, Ducky, dog shit.
Yep. Yep.
What was the
But
question?
this guy asks, he says, I'm 40, I don't compete, but I want to use my first cycle of PEDs. Where should I start?
See, and that's the stuff.
Like,
Yeah, see,
TRT play.
I'll go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
I would like personally, like there's coaches that like running like multiple compounds right off the bat, and I'm like, you don't know how you're going to react to it in general. I think like
Facts. And if you get a side
all of our
effect,
first
you don't
cycles,
even know what gave you the side effect if you start taking multiple compounds.
exactly. That's you just ran into what I was going to say because like if you're taking multiple things and something transpires with your body, there's no way of weeding out what exactly it was. Now you're going to reevaluate and go things one at a time to find out what was the reaction to what you were just taking.
Yep.
And then there's bum gear and everything like that. So, I mean, somebody like that who has never taken a PED or performance anything, like even a simple TRT dose, I would always start them off because your first cycle, you're going to gain the most anyway, and you don't need a lot to gain on your first cycle. Like something like 250 to 300 mgs a test a week, and you spread that out on 3 shots a week, because the way it works, and you guys know this too, the more shots you do on one compound, the better off you are because it's always transpired and flowing through your blood system.
Mhm.
Like you're doing it on month, you spread your shots out, like say on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday. That way it's always in your bloodstream at all times. You don't just take one shot of 1 cc on a Monday and then expect it to last the entire week.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like 250 to 300 and spread your shots out like every 2 to 3 days and you're good. Start off on something like that would probably be your best option. That way you can actually see how your body reacts to it. Because if you can stay at that level and make huge gains, if your other aspects, like we were just talking about, sleep, nutrition, and training, are all lined up.
Yep. I also think I'll add to that. Get your blood work done before. Do it before.
100%.
Let's get a baseline of what you are naturally. And then let's do blood work 12 weeks into the cycle. And then let's do blood work 4 weeks post-cycle. And so
See
then
me. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then we'll have a good gauge of what your 250 to 300 milligrams of test did to your lipids, to your red bloods, to everything. We get an idea of where you were, what it peaked you to, and where we are after.
See, and I always go a little bit deeper because I just have a different view and a different perspective on things. And I'm going to just say this, right? When I'm done competing, the only thing I'm going to be touching is maybe testing a little bit of growth.
That's all you need.
I ain't fucking with no other compound if I'm not competing. So I always ask, are you trying to compete or you just want to be jacked as fuck? Right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you want to just be jacked, bro, you can run as many compounds as you want. You're not going to get that look of a bodybuilder because you don't really care for it. You just want to, you have external reasons on wanting to run a cycle.
Yeah, you don't need to be running like whenever the point in time comes that, like, say you or me or Mike retired, that's probably going to be the only thing. Like maybe like 2 to 3 IUs a day of GH and like a small dose of like 250 to 300 to like just keep you at a good like maintain level.
Yeah, so that we can stay healthy the older we get. Like Mike Van Wicked said it the best. He was like, people will frown upon us for basically putting in our bodies what our bodies already produce. And I'm just giving myself a little bit more. So the older I get, the healthier I can get. With also taking those precautions by getting my blood work done. Making sure I'm not just eating a bunch of bullshit when I'm running shit. Because a lot of people think that too. They don't understand the difference between the quality food you eat plays a role in how you look. You can run all of that shit and go to McDonald's and Burger King every day, and you're gonna look like a piece of shit. You're just gonna gain fat.
Doug, it was so funny because like there were so many people that I ran into that are obviously clearly uneducated people that they were just like, dude, you can run GH and stay lean and eat whatever the fuck you want during the offseason. I'm like, why would I want to do that to begin with? But I'm like, if I'm listening to you say that, you don't sound very fucking intelligent to me.
No, because that gets taken out of context, right? Because people who are really understand it know that no, you can't eat everything when you're running that, but it does help you stay leaner when you're in an off season and or a bulk because you're consuming a lot of calories, which should
Correct.
be good quality
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Like I have a cheat meal. I have an off-plan meal every week, and I can have pizza, I can have Chipotle, I can have, whatever.
Mhm.
But every other meal that week is my 6 meals of diet food,
Facts.
and
talking
it's in a
about
surplus.
We're talking
I mean,
about
like,
one meal out of like 80 or 90.
Facts.
Exactly.
Facts. And
That's
the
what
misconception.
This is exactly what people don't understand. They're like, oh, I'll just eat 5 meals a day clean, and then my last meal I'll eat like shit. And I'm just like,
It
I
don't work like
had a client yesterday go, like, he's an older client, he's 65, and like we got him in better shape. He dropped from 225 to 175. I'm like, hey, you're allowed like one off meal for like the entire weekend. You can choose whatever you want. Just don't let it be Italian or pizza. And he's like, why do you hate pizza? I'm like, bro, I love pizza. But I'm like, if you eat that, that's going to set you back 2.5 weeks, and you're going to have to work, your ass off to get that 5 pounds off because of how low your test levels are and everything. He's on like a minimal gear test and everything like that, like doctor prescribed and everything. And it's like, fat content wise, you're going to add that weight. Like, people don't realize that.
No. And I like that we are giving more aspects to what it is to running gear, right? It's just like, like growing up in the streets, right? As a kid, you grow up, you see the guys selling drugs, making money, right? But you don't see the back end, getting murdered, going to jail, losing all type of shit. It's like, look, there is a negative side to what we do if you're doing shit ignorantly and you don't have somebody helping guide you and you don't have somebody teaching you that if you're going to do A, B, and C, you got to do everything else that comes with it. You can't just be trying shit and doing unnecessary shit. You know what I'm saying? You have to be aware of what you're taking, what it does to your body. And then just like we said at the beginning, because I know that's one of the reasons why I don't like to say what I'm doing, because there are kids that go on YouTube and find C-Bum cycle, Big Ramy cycle, and 120, 130 pound kids try to run shit that their bodies can't fucking handle.
Yeah, they're 21 years old. They weigh 150 pounds, and they're running 600 migs at fucking Trent Ace a week. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? That's your first cycle?
You don't even need it at that point. Because I also recommend to people who bodybuilding, like if you want to get into bodybuilding, I also believe that you should at least compete once or twice naturally to see if you like the sport.
Exactly.
Because there are too many people who go down that path and they realize they don't even like it. And now they feel trapped. They feel like they got to continue to do this and live this lifestyle when you really don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, this has to, like you said, this has to be something that you genuinely like to do, because it is extremely difficult. We make it look easy to the general public. So they like, oh, I could do it. I could do that. And it's like, you try if you want to, because I don't like to discourage anybody, right? But I also have a different mindset than your average person. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing. I made a post when I used to work for Port Authority, and I made a post and I said, I'm willing to do what you want to get to where I want to go. Because that's all it is that we're doing. Oh, you don't want to get up at 3 in the morning to do your cardio? I will. You don't want to eat 6 meals a day? I will. You don't want to train hard every day? I will. And I'll do it consistently.
That's exactly how it is. And then the end result is, you're not going to take that pro card? Well, I will,
Facts.
That's what it comes out to. Oh. All right, staying on the drug talk just for a little bit. I mean, I guess this is getting kind of personal, but favorite compound to add to a test base?
Depends on where you're at. Are you bulking? Are you cutting? You know what I'm saying?
Let's do. Okay. I would say do both. I would say your favorite compound to add to tests on a prep, and your favorite compound to add to on a bulk.
Well, see, my favorite compound I can't even use because it don't even sit right in my body, right? Because that was going to be my next thing. You don't
Yep, right.
even know how your body's going to react or respond. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, I love Primo.
Yeah.
But when I take it, the pip's so bad,
Yeah.
it ain't worth it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for people that don't know what PIP is, it's post-injection pain. That's what that means, post-injection pain. So when you inject it, sometimes you'll have, just like when you go to the doctor and you get a regular shot. That's another thing too. That's a misconception when it comes. People think that what we do is like we're heroin addicts or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, I remember when I started gear, my one dude was like, it's gonna be like just taking a supplement eventually. Like you're not even gonna think about it. It's just what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Y'all want to hear? So funny enough, my first cycle, I didn't do my own first pins for like
I didn't either.
a
I
month.
was scared.
I went to my dealer's house, and he would no homo, but I dropped my pants and he would right in the booty cheek. And so when he finally got sick of that, he's like, "Yo, you got to start doing your own injections." Because I'd hit him up and be like, "Yo, can I come through? It's Thursday night. I gotta." He'd be like, "I'm out of town." So he's like, "You got to figure out how to do this on your own." So I bought some needles, the same ones that I always saw him pull the stuff out of the vial with, which everybody were 18 gauge needles. And if people don't know, that's pretty much a needle that you can see into. Now, I never knew he was changing the needle and putting a smaller gauge on top. So I'm in my own bathroom, looking in the mirror, shirt off, sweat's already coming down, my hands shaking, and just looking. And I'm like, all right, I know it doesn't hurt that bad. I felt it for a month straight now. So I draw my stuff with my 18 gauge, use the same needle, and boom, stick it in, and it felt like I was being stung by the world's biggest wasp. And that went pushing it in so slow. I was like dripping sweat. I was holding on to the wall just in case I pass out. Finally got it, did the injection, and my pip was like, because it went in like this because it's an 18 gauge. So it just whoop, all went in. And I remember being like, I don't know if I can bodybuild. That oh God, dude. I gotta do this twice a week, every week.
Oh shit. That's funny as hell.
For the first like 5 months, I did not know you can inject with a smaller needle. So for the first 5 months, I was injecting with an 18 gauge, pretty much a horse tranquilizer.
So once you found the 25 gauge, you was going.
I was like,
oh, this is it.
Like I can do this shit the rest of my life.
Oh shit, that's crazy, bro. But you know what though? I'm glad that you're talking about it, because a lot of us at first we don't know what we're doing, bro. And I do want to be one of those people, and I tell people I do want to be one of those people that can help educate you, right? Because even when it comes to because one person in particular asked me, and the first thing I said to him is that's a personal decision you got to make for yourself. I'm not going to tell you to do anything. And I also knew this person was married, and I said you need to have a conversation with your wife, depending 100%. On how old your kids are. You got to communicate with people, and it needs to be okay by her first. Because if she's not with it, I don't give a fuck what you trying to do. It ain't going to fucking work. You either going to have to get rid of her, or you ain't going to be able to do what you want to do for bodybuilding purposes. You know what I'm saying? Because trying to hide, you can't hide it. Because at a certain point, you're going to be growing so crazy. Everybody's like, oh, what the fuck? Something's going on. And it's just better to be truthful. You know what 100%. I'm saying? And that's why for me, I remember when I told my wife after I did my second bodybuilding competition, and I told her, I'm like, I'm considering it. Like, what do you think? And she was like, if you want to do it, I support you.
It's also really hard to explain to people how they can change you mentally, especially in prep, right?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause we always think we're cool and level-headed, but I mean, as many preps as I've gone through, there's still times in preps where I know I feel a certain way, whether that's angry or frustrated or just have a short temper. And I know what's causing that, right? It's what I'm putting into my body. It's the lack of food and the drugs that I'm putting into my body. And you have to mentally be strong enough to be able to deal with that. And not everybody is.
Because you don't want to be doing that to the people that you're closest to and love the most.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. Because nobody makes us body build. And that's why I always say, I'm not a dictator in my crib. I'm not that parent that's gonna be like, y'all can't eat this, y'all can't have this. I have enough discipline to not eat shit when I'm not supposed to motherfucking eat it. You know what I'm saying? And not that if anybody does that, like that's okay, because it is also cool that if everybody in your house is on board with you, that makes everything much easier. You know what I'm saying? But I love my dad, but I grew up in a house where I ain't have a choice. So I give my kids a choice. You know what I'm saying? I listen to my kids when it comes to a lot of things, and I educate my kids. They're a lot older now. You know what I'm saying? So I really do my best to educate kids on a lot of things. But at the same time, I'm not going to say, like when I'm in those last couple of weeks, like y'all can't be bringing pizza in the house and stuff like that, because that shit don't bother me no more. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It was our choice to compete in the bodybuilding. So, I mean, like, you trying to put blame up, like, I hate when people do that. Like, I can't believe they would bring in pizza, or I can't believe they would bring in a burger and eat this in front of me. Bro, you're the one that's you're the one that wants to compete. You can eat whatever you want in front of me. I'm still going to attend family functions. I'm still going to go out to dinner. Guess what? I might be the guy with the Tupperware and asking the friggin' waitress or waiter if they can heat that shit up for me. But otherwise, those are my choices.
Exactly. It was your choices. That's right. Ain't nobody forcing you to do that shit.
You can't go against like your family or anything like that. But.
No.
One thing I'll also say the first time people who want to experiment is like, we have so much more information now on supplements that can help you keep you internally healthy. That even when I started, like, that shit was not as well known. I mean, we have like YouTube videos, forums, Instagram, all that. Keep your blood pressure in check. Number one, I think, is most important. Keep your blood pressure in check. Get your blood work done. Those are like cheap things, pretty cheap things that you can do. Take something for your kidneys. Those are cheap things that you can do.
And your liver.
Kidneys,
liver.
Longevity in this game. And if you can afford a cycle, you can afford to get blood work done.
And if you're someone that, like us, you run a cycle, you're serious about bodybuilding, also make sure you dump blood if you can. I always recommend 8 to 10 weeks, but if you dump blood 2 to 3 times a year, depending on how much whatever you do, you got to dump blood. Because a lot of people don't realize too, when you're running testosterone, you build up more white blood cells or red blood cells?
Red blood cells.
You build up more red blood cells. Your red blood cell count goes up, and that is what causes and can cause strokes.
100%.
So, and that's one of the dark sides of what we do, right? Because there are people that blindly run shit. They blindly are taking testosterone. They're not doing the things necessary for their internal health, and sometimes unfortunate shit like that happens, right? So if you're someone who consistently runs gear, you definitely should be also dumping blood. That means going to a blood bank and donating blood.
For sure.
But on the long side of it, I would say, like, during a prep, I would say Masteron is probably one of my favorites. And during a off season, EQ is probably my favorite.
Yeah, I like EQ.
I feel like I get so, like, me and Chris, like, I've done it before, but like the implement of what we did last year, and we're starting it off. We're starting a blast coming this week, and it's like, there it is. It's like EQ is right back in play, and I feel like I get my most gains out of that.
Do you feel you get an increase in appetite from it at all?
Yeah, like slightly. Not like, I mean, like, my appetite's through the roof as it is because of like how my job is and everything like that. So it's really like very difficult to evaluate if, like, say if I had like a cubicle job, you know what I mean? And I was sitting down all day, like just at a computer, but like my appetite definitely is a little higher with that. I mean,
That's good. I don't know if I ever noticed the appetite increase. I always liked DQ a lot, ran it in off seasons a lot, but I never. Everybody always says, "Oh, it increases your appetite a lot." I don't know if I ever personally noticed that, but
It's something slight.
yeah, yeah,
But it's like that. I mean, a lot of people say like taking anadrol like 30 minutes before like you work out, like even like that will kill your appetite or kill your stomach. Like,
yeah, yeah.
so it's like 6-1.
Yeah,
half of those.
I've never taken Anadrol.
Yeah.
I never tried that.
It definitely killed my appetite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll murder your appetite. But I mean, like you end up having some really good sick pumps in the gym, but like it's something I think I used that the first like probably year and a half I was on gear, and I haven't touched it since because I haven't.
That's what I was gonna say. I really don't use orals anymore unless it's the end of prep. Like
yeah, when you're
orals
throwing
in the
a Clen
off-season.
or Winstrol or
Yeah.
some bar at the end or something like that. But other than that, like I haven't, like I said, I haven't touched Anadrol since I pretty much first started trying to take gear, because you like that's just like we were talking. Like you kind of want to like experiment and see what your body works best with, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
it's
like
all an experiment
in the book, but like you need to be able to like do it one at a time and be able to see what results you get best out of each compound. Because like
you're right.
Primo didn't work for Doug, you know what I mean?
That's
but
right.
Like Primo might work for you, Mike. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's very different.
I know people that love it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm jealous because I loved it too. You know what I'm saying? But it just didn't sit right in my body. You know what I mean? And you know, you're so right in everything that you're saying, man. Like, you know, I enjoy these conversations, man, because people do need to get real. They need to get realistic viewpoints of running things, you know, because I know some bodybuilders that cycle on and off certain things all year round. I'm not one of them bodybuilders. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not in a prep, there are things that I only run during a prep.
Yep.
And there are things
100%.
that I only run during the off season. When I'm in my health rebound phase, shit is very simple. I don't take things just to get a certain look. When I'm bulking, I'm bulking. When I'm cutting, I'm cutting. When I'm in between, that is exactly it. I ain't trying to hold a certain look all year round for photo shoots, video shoots, and things like that.
Because guess what?
It gets dangerous.
It gets dangerous, and B, how the hell is your coach supposed to evaluate you properly if you're implementing other shit on top of it without them knowing about it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because then if you happen to do that, say on like that, like me and Mike are coming to the end of our like health phases after our national show, and it's like, if the blood work's not in check, like how can you put yourself on yourself on like, you know, an off-season compound list when you know you're adding compounds to it like halfway through because you feel like your look is fading? Who gives a shit about your look now? Now it's about,
that's why I don't do updates.
Getting you healthy and then putting a good off season into play where you can add more muscle tissue.
Yeah, that's why I don't like to do updates like other bodybuilders do. And once again, I don't say things as a knock on how anybody else runs their social media or anything. You know, to each his own. But I like to actually see differences, and I don't see differences week to week. You know what I'm saying? So I don't always post.
Put a half a pound on. Guess what? No one's seen that shit. You put
you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You just posted like a week ago, and you look.
I don't do weekly updates. I don't do those kind of things. I like a lot of my content to be genuine and real. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't post a lot of training videos as well too. I had a couple people ask me, like, post more training videos. I'm like, bro, I lift this. I do the same movements.
Yeah.
Everything that I do is already on my page. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's rare that I switch things up, right? Unless it's necessary for me to switch. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, coming off this health rebound phase, we have a few different exercises we're definitely implementing to create more thickness in my back. There are definitely some things that I'll be doing to help the development of my midsection. You know what I mean? I'll show some of those things. But, you know, I just can't see myself every day posting the same shit every day. It's like boring content.
For sure. I know a lot. We see a lot
People
of
think you need to people think you need to reinvent the wheel and implement
It's funny.
You'll have like new clients that'll you'll send them the entire like workout program you want to focus on, and then a month later, like, oh, can we change it up? And getting bored.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I've been doing the same fucking movements.
Man.
I've been doing the same fucking movements for the last 5 years.
And
Yeah.
if
All
they
you gotta
have
do is just
any,
keep adding weight. That's it.
and if they have any general knowledge of programming, you run a program at least 8 weeks. That's the bare minimum. 8
Yep.
weeks you run that
Evaluate
program.
shit in a month.
Yeah, it gets boring after a month. Yeah, but the
It does.
goal and the reason why you have a program, you run at least 8 weeks, because you want to see progression. How the fuck do you know if you're progressing if every time you come in the gym, you're doing 30 different fucking exercises? I seen a
Exactly.
dude on Instagram grab a kettlebell, and because he had big quads, said this is how you get big quads, and he's squatting with a fucking kettlebell. Like, come on, man. And y'all be believing this bullshit, but that's not how you grow legs. It's not. Now, can you do accessory stuff with kettlebells? Can you? Yeah, you can do stuff, but that's not how you grow legs. That's clickbait for somebody who wants you to click their story, like their shit, follow them, and buy something off of them.
Yep. Facts.
Was there any more gear questions, Mike?
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say my off season and
go ahead. No.
What was it? What was even the question? Oh, favorite compound. Yeah,
your favorite compound.
Yeah, so do it in prep and do it in off season.
Prep, I'm with you. Prep, I'm with you. Mastron, that's the one.
It's such a good one.
It's a great compound. You know,
Doug, you agree on that one?
Yeah, most definitely.
It's pretty mild comparatively to others.
Yeah.
It's a DHT derivative, so if you're prone to hair loss, it might make you lose a little bit more hair, but I got pretty good head of hair, and I'm
I think we doing pretty good.
We're all doing pretty damn good in that category.
And then off season, are we counting GH as a compound, or is that its own thing?
No, I would say you can count that.
Yeah, I would say it's a compound. Because I didn't even start that till I became a pro. That was something else I didn't even know nothing about.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's still very new to me over the last couple of years. So, but I'm gonna have to say GH for off season.
It's been a game changer, but in a very positive way, as long as you utilize it properly.
That's it. Exactly. It's not a magic.
Like we had just had that conversation about like, oh, you can have GH and eat pizza. Like, no, you can't do that. Like, you still need to be able to like replenish your body with the proper foods and calorie intake for that to happen.
And GH isn't one of those you start taking a kit and you're going to see exponential growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those long haul. Like, if you're able to afford it for a year and stay consistent, then that's when you really see the results from it. But it's not
you got to
like
be consistent for a long time. Yeah, it's not one of them things you can just take and then No.
It's for the long haul, but I would say those are my favorite for sure.
Yeah.
I think the last gear question is, what was your first cycle?
So let me tell you guys mine, because like I said, when I first got into bodybuilding, I had zero knowledge of this stuff, right? So I went to a bodybuilder that I knew would be able to help me, right? So I don't know anything, and I go to him, and he tells me what to get, tells me what to do, and wasn't very informative on everything, right? And I'm the type of person I'm a scary person. I'm very cautious. When shit happens, I need answers ASAP. So my first cycle, I did test, EQ. I just had test and EQ, but I didn't have an AI, right? Because I didn't know. So that was all I had. And I remember a few weeks after running stuff, I was in the gym and I took my shirt off and I had this water pocket underneath my chest. And it looked like fluid just under my chest, and it scared the shit out of me, bro. You know what I mean? So I text the dude. I ain't gonna put his name out there. I text him and didn't get a response back. I called him and I said, emergency. Like, I need an answer now. Took him 3 days to call me back. 3 days. So at that point he wasn't even my coach no more. At that point,
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
fuck it. I ended up hollering at my homie who I told him when I was running. He was like, "You don't got an AI." He was like, "You need this. This helps control your estrogen levels. That's why you got." And I'm like, "Okay, now that's making a little
yeah,
bit of sense." So I got that, and then I was fine. It went away, and then I was gonna do that show on my own because then I continued to run gear without even really knowing what the fuck I was doing. And then thank God I found Morgan. Thank
yeah.
God,
So,
because
Doug, what
once
did
I
he put
found
you?
him,
What was the AI that he put you? Just so people know,
I think it
like,
was a Remedex.
yeah, that's exact. See, this is where like an intelligent coach would put that into play. Like, two things that would help out. Like, I'll be transparent and honest. Like, we're going on tests and EQ, and then GH, and the way to like level those AIs out, metformin and a Remedex.
Yep.
If you
Yep.
take like 2.5 like 2.5, like 0.5, I'm
Yeah.
talking. You take
Mm-hmm.
0.5 twice a week for a Remedex, and you take 500 milligrams of fucking mgs of metformin a night,
Mm-hmm.
you're
Mm-hmm.
golden.
Yep.
It battles that AI, the AI levels, it keeps everything, your hormonals in balance and everything like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people need to understand you can't run certain compounds because you're gonna run up into this situation where gyno's starting to produce.
Yeah,
And
you don't even know you're playing around with your hormones. Like,
you're
Nope.
you're friggin' dead at that point in the water.
Yeah.
Once you're like 4 to 6 months into it and you're not taking an AI, there's no reversing that.
yeah.
Facts.
So make sure you're lining yourself up properly when it comes to some of this shit and you're doing your research. And if you don't know, ask somebody who does know.
Yeah, because we live in a time and day now where not knowing is an excuse, and it's a dumbass
That's right.
excuse at this point.
That's right. My first is similar to Doug's story. So my first was actually one of my biggest cycles up until very recently, which is crazy, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
go this guy, same guy that was injecting me. And I trusted him because I knew nothing about it. I tried to do some research, but there were really only the forums of, like the muscle forums. It was like still kind of early on and so much information wasn't available. So I go to him and I know he's in pharmacology school. So I'm at least he has somewhat of a baseline. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
just not some guy out here. But what he tells me is, oh, you have to do this much because that's what the pros take and that's how you get to the pro level. I don't know any better. So he puts me on 750 tests.
Damn.
He puts me on, what was it, 500 deca in D-ball. Yeah.
First cycle?
Doesn't give me an AI. I don't know what that is. I know that there's things like gyno to be worried about, but I don't know how, I don't know how that's created, right?
Whew.
Yeah.
So he gives me that. I start growing real quick, like in the gym,
Like,
like
this
my
is
weight
great.
shooting up on the scale. But so is my face. Everything is getting big. I got moon face. I'm like just
Yeah.
blown out. And very similar to you, one day I take off my shirt and my nipples are just like full, like just like fluid in there, fluid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I touch it and I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on? As well as the DECA, which I didn't know it was causing this. I wasn't hooking up with my girlfriend at the time anymore. I had zero interest
Mm-hmm.
in sex.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole DECA dick. I don't know if people out there have heard of that, but
Yeah,
one of the
I've heard of it.
one of the side effects of DECA and nandrolones can be your sex drive just gets put in the dirt.
Let's just say, in some instances, NPP's been my best friend.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I got with him. I was like, yeah, my nipples, like they look puffy. Like, what's going on here? And he was like, oh yeah, like we can fix that real quick. So he gave me an AI, and I think it was a Romacin or a Midex. I don't remember what it was, but it ended up helping, and it went away. And then he got me some other stuff for the DECA. I actually think I came off the DECA completely, and I've never touched it since.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a good example of like why, even if you think somebody's educated, like you gotta do your own research, right? Like I thought this dude had my best interest at heart, and he didn't, or maybe he did, but he just didn't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
He only knew what he heard from
Mm-hmm.
so-called bodybuilders and pros.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you want. You want to be a pro. This is what you gotta do. But
Mm-hmm.
there's steps. Don't forget the steps. Don't let somebody tell you get on 750 tests out the gate, because that is not the way to go.
Nope.
Yeah. No, that's real, man. And I'm glad that we're able to have discussions like this, because when I met Morgan, he was the first person that made me understand that we want to get the most out of the least.
Yeah.
And not
Exactly.
everybody realizes that. But and with the way I like to explain it to people is like this: our bodies are made to adapt and adjust. And once your body has to adapt and adjust to anything, you have to give it more to get a response. It's like alcohol. The first time you
Yeah.
ever drank alcohol, you got drunk really fast. If
Yes,
you
sir.
continue to drink alcohol, you have to drink more alcohol to get drunk. You have to drink more alcohol to get a response. It's the same thing with this stuff. It's no
Which is
different.
why we were having that conversation earlier. Start off low. You can always build your tolerance level higher.
That's right.
Like me, I was so because I did 12 natural shows to even start, and I'm like, all right. I educated myself. I had plenty of people around me that were educated about it, and I'm like, I'm just going to see what 250 does a week and go from there.
Yeah.
And no joke, I probably put on 20 pounds in probably 8 months because the work ethic that I had, being in being in an enhanced level, it just my body. That's how everyone's body pretty much responds on their first cycle. You're going to get your most out of your first cycle, no matter what.
Yep.
And let me tell everybody out there, my next cycle wasn't 1,000. I didn't go up. My next cycle was 500 tests, and that's it. And honestly, that's what I stayed on till about 2 years ago. That scared the shit out of me so much. I never ran my test over 500 for the longest time. I put other compounds in, but and I attained a pretty good physique off of pretty minimal gear comparatively. So it's not impossible, people. It's just.
But most people don't have the patience.
Your body responds to it.
Yeah, most people don't have the patience, and most people want it fast. We live in a generation where everybody wants everything fast, and that's just not how life works. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I don't mind the long road. I appreciate the journey that it takes to get to me wherever I'm going to. I enjoy all of that stuff. I don't want anything fast, because I know just as fast as you can get it, as fast as you can lose it. You know what I'm saying? And if it takes you some time to acquire something, you appreciate it more. It's just like a car. Somebody buy you a car, you're going to treat it like a piece of shit. But when you buy your own car, you are a lot more consciously aware of who's driving it, because now you're paying for your tires, your maintenance, your oil changes. So many things change when you personally invest that time into it. You just appreciate it much more, But we live in this society now where people see Sam Sulek and everybody think they could be fucking Sam Sulek. And it's like, nah, bro, you're not him.
I can drink milk, I can do this, I can do that. Cut the bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
It's genetics. A lot of it has to do with how good your genetics are when it comes to some of this stuff.
That's a big part of it too, right? Not
whether
everybody
we like to admit it or not. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Speaking of cars, I have to buy all new tires for my truck before this winter, man. I hate that shit. There goes $1,200 out the gate.
Bro, tell me about it, man. Because that's what I always say. This is what makes bodybuilding interesting too, right? Because you got a truck, so I know you can relate. I know you can feel this story. When I was doing the Van City Pro, 5 a.m, it's early as shit, and I'm driving to the gym because I'm running late, and I bumped a curb, tore my back tire up, but I didn't know till I came out from the gym. So I get my shit put on a flatbed, $300. So then at that time, my son
just to get it towed, right?
Yeah, my son needed something. My daughter needed something. I'm like, what? So 300 turned into 1,000 real fast.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm in prep. I'm, I still got food. I got to make sure that I get plane tickets, everything for my travel. You know what I'm saying? And what we do on any level, I know you guys have a story about being in prep and some buck shit happens, and you have to do your best to hold your composure and not snap the fuck out on everybody, because everybody's not going to really understand the amount of pressure that you're under because you're in a prep, and certain things have to go a certain way. I got to eat my meals. I got to get my rest. There's certain things that I just can't bend on.
Yeah, for sure. One of them I hate spending money on a vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm not even a vehicle guy. Like I don't really care about like cars, trucks,
Yeah.
like all that. Like
Yeah.
as long as it gets me to point A, point B and looks all
Yeah.
right, I'm like good with it. But
Yeah.
man, there's something about spending like $1,200 on tires that just like
Don't sit right with you. It don't
Bro,
sit
bro,
right.
gotta
that
rub me
money,
the
like I could do so much more. That money's damn near a vacation.
That is a
Like,
vacation, a nice vacation.
yeah, it's a nice
Shit,
vacation.
1,200, 1,300.
Yeah.
Shit.
And I got
Yeah.
to spend it on tires? Tires?
Yeah.
Just to pass,
Yeah.
just so I don't drive off the road and die during the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are
Do
in
you
Maine.
do you
I'm
guys
in
have to
Maine.
have inspections up there in Maine?
Yeah, we gotta have
Okay.
inspections, registration, yeah, all of it. It's
Yeah,
like
Insurance.
we gotta have
insurance.
inspections here too in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. Ohio, well, yeah, Ohio has inspections, but they don't have to have, like in Ohio, you don't have to have a bumper, you don't have to have doors on your cars.
Yes, bro. I think I was in last time I was in Texas. Maybe it was Texas. I forget what state I was in, and they didn't have the inspection. And there were
They don't
people
have that
driving
in
around.
Florida either.
They didn't have hoods on their cars. They didn't
Yeah,
have
real shit.
doors. I
States where
was
they
like,
don't have to get an inspection, it just has to pass like an emissions test where the car it can move, it can run, and if your car
that's
can drive,
crazy.
you can put it on the road. It is
That's
crazy.
crazy. I'm trying to live there.
Yeah.
So like inspections and registrations are pretty much non-existent in Florida, but you have to pay out the ass. What was it for? Insurance.
Oh, okay. So that's where
Because my
they get.
brother
That's
just
where they
moved
make
down there like 2 years ago. He's like, bro, he goes, I got a brand new Volvo and it cost me like $30 to register it. I'm like, up in New Hampshire, like Maine or something like that, that'd be like $1,200 just to register
easy.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, like he goes in an inspection, you don't even need an inspection. He goes, but they nab you on insurance.
Yeah. Yeah. What's his insurance? I guess is probably like like
It's still low. It's still like a couple $100, but it's
oh
bad.
shit,
yeah.
that's crazy. And they
Yeah.
don't have to pay like excise tax and all that, like registration. Man, that's nice.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is
Florida.
interesting how different states are and how each different state does things different when it comes to cars, taxes, alcohol, all of that
Yeah.
shit.
Guns is a big one because I carry here in Maine, like I carry daily, but sometimes we'll go out state to do like a show, and I don't even bother bringing my firearm with me because
Yeah,
I
because
know
it's
it's
just
so different state to state, and I ain't
yep.
trying to get pulled over
No, and the
and be
states don't be giving a fuck if you ain't from there. That's like New York, bro. New York,
exactly.
oh my God. That is one place you
Yeah,
do not want to get caught with a gun because they don't give a fuck.
yeah. I'm not trying to catch a felony over nothing,
Yeah, hell no.
So yeah, everything's really different state to state. It's kind of crazy. Oh, here's an interesting question, kind of about training. Am I missing something, or have most bodybuilders thrown out flat pressing or dumbbell, flat bench press or flat dumbbell pressing?
I
This is
do
actually
flat.
from a powerlifter.
I do dumbbells. I don't do flat bench.
Yeah, because a
Yeah.
lot of people don't realize like flat benching is a male ego lift. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. It is a male ego lift because it's not directly a chest workout.
Yeah,
Triceps, lats, then chest. It's a
yeah,
power movement, which is why it is in powerlifting. Now, can you use it? Yes, right? But if I bench, I don't go heavy and I pump out
yeah.
reps.
Facts, facts. Honestly, I think bench press is part of the reason I have a shoulder problem in my right shoulder from when I
Mm-hmm.
was young, and I would just try and push as much weight on the bench as possible. Like I never tore a pec or something when I look at like the shit I used to do, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't flat bench
I
anymore.
don't implement it in my workouts nor any of my clients because unless they're a power lifter, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's useless. Even Jay Cutler said it. Jay Cutler's like, I never bench pressed. Never. Because
Yeah.
I think it's a waste of time, to be honest.
it doesn't serve a purpose for us. We
Yeah.
are in the business of building muscle. The flat bench is an exercise where can you build bigger muscles? Yes, but you can also fuck up your shoulders. You can
Yeah.
tear a pec. You know what I'm saying?
Job is to keep your everything moves through your shoulders, whether you believe it or not, for your entire upper body, like back, arms,
Yeah.
buys, tries, chest,
Yeah.
everything is revolving around that. So if you're not keeping your rotator cuffs healthy, you're in deep
Yeah.
shit. And that's
Yeah.
one way that you can blow it out or
For
tear
sure.
your back, for instance.
Yeah. So if somebody likes it, like if I have a client that likes it and they want it in their routine,
Higher reps.
I'll put it in there. Yeah. And I'll tell them, are you building or you want to be a power lifter? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want to be a power lifter, it's much different than building a muscle. Right.
Yeah, there's no
I was
reason
just
to do no reason to do 1 rep maxes. It's all like keep that rep range higher.
This is what I was about to ask that. So, do you guys keep in movements? Like, if a client really likes, like, let's say, like bench press, right? And you're writing out their chest day or push day, do you keep that movement in there just so they have a movement that they truly love, but you might dial it back or put it at the end of the workout
Yep.
so they're
That's
not?
exactly what I
So
do. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
but
exactly
I
what I
do
do.
like to keep in exercises that I know my client likes
Yes.
because it's a lot easier to progress
Keeps them
when
happy.
you're enjoying.
It
Yep.
keeps them happy for 1, and then 2. The key is to keep them happy, but not let them do stupid mistakes. Like
Yeah.
putting that in the beginning of their workout is probably the biggest mistake you can make because they're going to go balls out on that the
Yep.
first exercise. So
Yep.
if you put that at the end where they're fatigued, now it's something that they have no choice but to do at a lower weight, and they're so fatigued that they can't lift as heavy as weight. So now they're going to probably stay in that 10 to 15 rep range.
Yeah.
For sure.
And we want to always remind them that we want to get strong by default. We want to get strong because we're putting in the work to get stronger, not chasing a number. Oh, I got to bench 500. Nah, bro, you're going to hurt yourself like that. You know what I'm saying? Get strong by default. So when you do move up in weight, you're not questioning if you can lift it. You know you can fucking lift it because you're able to, like, you're able to bench 315 15 fucking times. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, you just said it before I was going to say it because I'm like, what's more impressive, benching 500 pounds once or repping 315 15 to 20 times?
Facts. That's just impressive as hell.
Yeah, for sure. All right. We got, I'd say, like 10 minutes left. I think this is a question to end on. Who is your favorite bodybuilder right now? And then everybody's top 5 in order at the Olympia this year. Let's just say we think, because I think we're all pretty sure.
Doug, you want to go first?
My favorite bodybuilder right now? My favorite bodybuilder right now to watch, I would have to honestly say is, it's tough. But I like Andrew Jack.
Yeah.
He's my favorite. I love, he could do a split. He reminds me of Sean Roden, but just a lot more bubblier. You know what I mean? I love his physique. I think that he's going to, if he can stay healthy and, get a couple more years in, he's going to be a real threat for the Mr. Olympia. And my top 5 favorite right now is definitely Andrew Jack, Derek, Nick Walker. I like James Hollingshead too. I love him. I love watching him train. He makes the weights look fucking fake. I mean, just like, God damn, bro. Like,
Stupid strength.
Yeah, like I love watching him, and then I can't forget my 212 class. Keon's in my top 5. I think he has one of the most incredible physiques I've ever seen. His shoulder to waist ratio to me is bananas. You know what I mean? And then he has legs. You know
he
what
might
I'm
be the
saying?
most
Like,
genetically gifted bodybuilder I've ever seen in my life.
I also
He's definitely
believe,
in my top 5 for sure too.
Yeah, and I believe that he can be the next person to move into the Open and win a Mr. Olympia. I just believe that.
I think he's a replica of like what Derek Lunsford was from 212 going into Open, and I think Keon, he said he wants to go there eventually when the time is ready. Obviously,
yeah.
My favorite currently, and even though it's a 212 guy, is Keon. His work ethic, his shape, his structure. Like, I feel like he is what bodybuilding is.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion. Like, top 5, I would probably have to go with top 5 favorites of definitely Nick Walker, Andrew Jack, Keon. I love Samson and just what he's like. after everything that he's overcome and like
Mhm.
dealt with, like now where he's going with it, I think he's going to be a shoo-in for that top 3. And then like the 5th one is like, it's really a wild card. Like I want to say, I love Rafael Brandel.
Yeah. Yeah. He's super impressive, man.
Mhm.
Talk about a pretty physique, man.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like top to bottom, I
Yeah.
feel like he's so
Yeah.
complete in every aspect.
Yeah, and he's underrated. I don't think he gets a lot of respect he deserves.
And
Yeah.
that's the good part. Like I can even throw like a guy like Jordan Hutchinson in there too, because just like Mike, me and you are both like 5'10", 5'11". So like those
Yeah.
like Jordan and guys like him, like Jordan and guys like him are like right there in that, like Raphael are that height,
For
that
sure.
kind of structure. Like it's just so pretty and beautiful to see. And like James has got that kind of height too.
Yeah.
If I remember right,
Absolutely.
like he's like 5'10", close to that
Yeah.
5'11". Just
Yep.
being able to maintain that kind of weight with that kind of like flow is just, it's incredible to me. But I would definitely have to go with Keon. He's my favorite right now.
Nice. I honestly think so. My favorite right now is interesting. I think my favorite right now might be Martin Fitzwater.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love the content Martin's put out. I love how he's changed his demeanor over the last 3 years.
Mhm.
And I think his trajectory, I truly think Martin will win a Mr. Olympia at some point in his career.
I do too.
I truly believe that.
I do
I
too.
think he's that good. I think he is that good.
He's already, believe it or not, like since the last show, he's already put on, somebody had said like 7 to 8 pounds. There's
Yeah,
like a
he's
7 to 8 pound
250. I think
difference.
he's around 250 right now.
That's silly.
it's
Mhm.
crazy.
Mhm.
As far as
I
my
think
top
he's gonna be in that top 5 to 6.
I think he can crack it too. I think it's close. I think it's hard
I
to get in. Yeah.
I hope, but like what's in front of him.
Yeah.
And a lot
Yeah.
of people are discouraging like guys like Brandon Curry because he's not working with Abdullah anymore. And it's like, I wouldn't
this is
count
his
that guy
first
out. He
time.
won the Mr. Olympia for some reason.
He's still Brandon. He's still Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't know is he got deathly sick like before the Olympia last year, and he still was in the top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just the thing. Your first time going to an Olympia, it's hard to get a place in that you like
True.
because of the people that have been there before you. And I do think that the judges take that into consideration. I'm not sure.
yeah.
I'm not saying that
Which
they
is
do.
why I think Martin will be in that 6 to 8 range.
Mm-hmm.
6 to 8. Yeah, I can see that. My top
Just to be
5.
like, hey, this guy's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hottie's gonna win.
Ooh, you think Hottie's gonna make a comeback?
I think the Hottie that we saw at the Arnold this year, in my mind, is one of the most impressive physiques I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
But
Polish, muscularity.
but Mike, it gave Derek an opportunity to see what he was going to be dealing with. And after seeing what Derek's done in these last like 3 to 4 months, I don't know, dude. And then you see guys like Samson, who's like,
yeah, he just looks fake,
dude.
Bro,
it's not
he
even
looks
real.
fake.
And then guys like Andrew Jackson, it's like
fake.
we can all sit here and say we want these guys to win, but realistically, there's 6 guys that can win this goddamn show.
100%. But I got Hottie winning. I got Derek second. I think I can't say that. All right, I'm gonna still put Nick third.
I agree.
I'm gonna put Andrew Jack fourth.
No Hunter.
I haven't.
You still got Hunter. You still have Brandon Curry.
I'm gonna put Samson. Oh,
Samson and Finn.
No, right? That's hard, right? This is not easy, bro.
Yo, bro, you think about it. You go 1 to 4, and then you're like, bro, I forgot about Samson. And then you're like, wait a minute, Samson could beat Nick.
I'm gonna put Samson. I'm gonna put Samson in fourth. I'm gonna put Andrew Jack in fifth. I'm gonna put Hunter in sixth, and I'm gonna put Marty in seventh.
Marty in 7.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. I like how you lay that out. I mean, like, the only thing I would swap is probably, I don't know. I mean, like, I might make this bold statement because I think, like, with the improvements of everyone doubting Nick, and Nick is always his best. He's always at his best when he's the underdog. Yeah. And then the improvements that Derek was able to see from Hottie, I kind of think that gave him the edge. So I'm going to have to go with, I think Derek's 1. I think Nick Walker's 2. I think Hottie's 3. I think Samson's 4, and then Andrew's 5.
Yeah, see, look at that.
That's stupid.
That's
We could all be wrong, and Samson comes in and wins. Look at that.
Oh, for sure.
Wait, his back double is ridiculous.
Well, like, have you ever seen his glutes in like this?
I've
this
never
far
seen
out?
him in condition like this far out.
And just
Dude,
look at the separation. Look at the separation in his lower body. Yeah, you can see quad, hamstring, glute, adductors. I mean, bruh, like, I mean, he's just a ball of muscle. Just a ball of fucking muscle, bro.
How can any of us can't sit here and say, like, we can have like what we think is going to go to the top 5, but man, dude, any of these guys could freaking win. Any of them.
It's gonna be a great
any
Olympia.
of them can win. That's why I'm excited for it. You know what I'm saying? Because Hardy's coming for blood. Let's keep it 100. He wants that title back.
That's what
I think it's making a good Olympia, right? We haven't had a rivalry since Kai and Phil.
Yep.
You know
what are the odds that the rivalry are teammates?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's crazy.
That's what makes it even better.
Brendan, are you going out to the O? You said that last time.
Me and Charlotte will be out there. Yeah, Doug, you be there?
That's what's up.
I don't know. I would like to, but my son's in football season, and to be honest with y'all, I just found out the week of the Olympia is the week he plays Gateway. So Gateway is the school my son used to go to. When I transferred him back to Woodland Hills, they blocked my son's transfer. So he wasn't eligible to play last season, and I don't want to miss that game. My son gonna show the fuck out.
Also, this is a bad blood game, y'all. Y'all have something riding on.
And I gotta be on my best behavior that game because I hate them coaches. I didn't feel that.
Are you a vocal dad at the games?
No, my wife is. I'm quiet.
No. That's smart, man.
Yeah, I'm quiet. I just watch. Yeah,
that's good. I feel like when the time comes and I got kids in sports, I might be a little too vocal sometimes.
It's hard not to be I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. Like, so my son, this is my son's basically first high school season. His freshman year, he played JV, started all year. His sophomore year, he tore his labrum, so he didn't play his sophomore year. Last year, he didn't get to play because I transferred him back to Woodland Hills. And the coach that started that challenged it was a personal friend of mine. And he basically lied and said that I transferred my son for athletic purposes. He shared some personal text messages between me and him. I fought this shit and went to court. Went to Whippeal, went all the way up to the state level. And unfortunately, they made my son ineligible. He was able to play August 23rd. But the thing is, we never lived in the district that he was at. And I was having housing issues. My cousin moved, and when my cousin moved, my son got unenrolled from school. So I had to use another friend's address to get him back into school, and I did. And then I started to have those issues again because he was going to be moving. So I just moved him back to his original district, and they didn't like it. And they stopped my son from playing football. So, my son's a senior, and he just played his first varsity game last week. You know what I'm saying? He's doing good. You know what I'm saying? But it's just messed up that adults would do that to a kid, and especially somebody in particular that I thought was a friend of mine that would do some shit like that to my son. You know what I mean? Like, you mad at me, and you took it out on my son because you knew you could do that. And I've had to. That's why these past couple years been really hard on me. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to do my best to keep my composure and try not to fly off the handle at some people, man. And I've never felt the rage from somebody doing something to my kid that I felt last year. Especially something like that. My son just wanted to go to college and play football. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If my son was out here running the streets, shooting and killing and selling drugs, it would be a whole ass issue. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a stand-up guy. I'm raising my kids to be stand-up people and trying to do the right thing. And we get punished because we transfer in schools.
Yes. I think it's so crazy that a grown man or anybody would feel some type of way to stop a kid from playing for you. years of high school sports. They only get that once.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, like what did somebody do to you in
All
life?
because it's like
You're
beef
gonna
between
stop
two
a kid
parents.
from being able to play a sport. That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Man, my son handled it way better than I did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
And
like, don't worry, Pops, I got this.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm just thankful that my son kept his grades up and just is doing the best things he can to just be a young man with integrity. You know what I'm saying?
What
Because when I
position did
tell you he plays running back and defensive back,
okay. Shit.
I wanted to do some things, you know what I'm saying, that I'm accustomed
Yeah.
to doing if necessary, but I knew that also. I know my son needs me, my daughter needs me, my wife needs me. You know what I'm saying? And that has been really difficult for me over these past couple of years because I don't like people smiling in my face, but they don't fuck with me. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'm not one of them type of people. You don't got to be fake with me. If you don't like me, you don't got to speak to me because I for damn sure don't speak to people I don't like.
Yep.
And I've always been that way. There's no gray area with me. Ain't no straddling the fence. Either you fuck with me or you don't. And if you don't, that's cool. I won't lose no sleep over it. I respect that. I respect people who don't like me and don't speak to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're not fake. I like people who ain't fake. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You ain't always gonna be everybody's cup of tea, but as long as
Mm-hmm.
as long as everybody stays in their own lane, like I don't
Mm-hmm.
really care who doesn't like me. Just
Mm-hmm.
treat
Facts.
me with respect when you see me. That's
Facts.
all I ask.
Facts. Treat
That's
me
all
with
I ask.
respect. Don't disrespect me and don't put your hands on me.
Yeah,
That's
that's it.
yeah.
You
That's
handled
it.
it the right way.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen. I guess we're missing Trey this week, but hopefully
Yeah.
he'll be able to come next week.
Yeah, we had a good one. And I talked to Keon.
Okay.
We might have to, if we want to get him on, I'll hit up Marty too, because I know I can get Marty on. We're just gonna have to
Yeah.
pick a day that is best for him with him being in prep right now. And I told him, you
Sure.
let me know, I'll relay back to my guys and we'll
Yeah.
set it up. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because I
yeah.
told him we had Jordan on and we would love to have him on. So he's game for it. It's just trying to figure out when we can
Times, yeah.
squeeze an hour out of
Yeah.
him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
We get it.
You let us know and we'll make it work, dude.
Yeah, you let us know. We are not as important as Olympia Prep. That's for
That's
damn
what I
sure.
told him. I said, bro, no pressure, dog. Like you can say no. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I won't feel no type of way, bro. Like I know I've done an Olympia prep before. That was probably the most stressful prep I ever did in my life, just because it's the Olympia. Like you
Yeah.
don't want to fucking drop the ball.
Anytime is a good time for any of those guys.
For
That's a
sure.
bet.
100%.
That's a bet.
100%. All right, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Pleasure,
All
man.
right.
We got 2 hours a day. It was dope.
Yeah, we
Always
did.
dope.
It was. We talked about a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
And
we
hopefully
did.
people got a little bit more PED content. And we'll
That's
get into some
what they
more
want.
next time. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I know
what they
people
want.
like to hear that shit.
Oh, yeah.
All right, boys. I'll
All right,
talk to y'all
fellas.
soon.
All right,
Yes,
see you,
sir.
boys.
Have a great week.
You too,
Yes,
man.
sir.
All right.